Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to NAL Game Day Live here in WesBanco Arena. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Technology can be an issue at times, but we do have an action-packed show for you today, ladies and gentlemen.
We sure do.
We've been counting down how many days now for this?
I think we started at 45 with our countdown.
45.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, honestly, for the people who are watching live in NAL Game Day, here's the thing about technology. You got everything situated, everything corrected, everything set up. And then technology just tells you no.
Yeah.
Am I right, Jeff? Or
Yeah.
am I right?
Yeah, you're totally right.
So to the people who are on Twitter, trying to get us on Twitter, Twitter for some odd reason is down right now. So we can't be live on Twitter, but we're on as many platforms as we can at this moment in time. So comment, join the show. We will have Fred Shaw of the Colorado Spartans on here around 4:30. We will have Coach Rez around 5 o'clock. We'll have Brandon Eichert around 5:15, which is the commissioner of the National Arena League on this show. We'll be breaking down a lot of things, including the games that were happening this past weekend. And, of course, we'll be previewing the two teams for tonight's game, NAL Kickoff 2025, Colorado Spartans and the Wheeling Miners here in WesBanco Arena. We are in the mezzanine section of WesBanco. So to the fans who may be out there waiting or down the street at Waterfront or even around the corner, I think the players are over there right now. Am I correct?
They're just they got done with pregame meal and they're getting ready. They were walking through the building at 4 o'clock, so they're supposed to be back here at 4.
So that'll be a good thing to do. So, no further ado, when we come back after this short little break, actually, we'll give you the intro again. We're going to try and fix some of this technology, and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to NAL Game Day here. Sorry for the technical difficulties. And unfortunately, we just received word that we will not be able to broadcast on Twitter. Apparently, Twitter's been acting up all day. We want to thank the National Football League for that because apparently it is free agency. And when that stuff happens, things just break.
I'm just going to blame Aaron Rodgers for breaking Twitter.
Now, it's because you're Packers and fans and whatever.
Yeah, you know.
I do apologize to the fans who are out there. Send your questions in. Are you hyped? What are the pros and cons of this weekend? What do you liked about these games? Any concerns? Let us know because we got a lot of things to cover on this episode for the 2025 NAL Game Day kickoff. And as a person who watches these games and takes pride in the performances, I really hate when stuff goes haywire. But we'll do what we can do. I'm a man of my word. We're going to push through. It's like the fourth quarter comebacks. As you know, Jeff's gone. We didn't fire him. He's still here. He has another job here, so he has to do his other deeds.
Man of many hats.
multiple mini hats.
Yes, for sure.
Multiple mini hats. But let's get over to some of the games that have happened this past weekend. We'll start in Columbus, Georgia, where the Columbus Lions took on the Peach State Cats. A lot versus a little. And that's what the score was there in Columbus. A couple of guys stood out to me. ZB looks like he's in great shape. Looks like he's going to do a how can I say? He looked last year when he played, didn't look like ZB of old. 2 years ago when he was in Carolina, that was ZB. You saw ZB again here in Columbus this week, and it looks like the ZB of old. He's flying around. He's heading, and another guy they got down there, number 4, St. Brown, defensive end. He was torturizing the Peach State Cats. So I think that's going to be a how can I say, a lethal weapon for the Columbus Lions as they went and took on the Peach State Cats in Columbus Civic Center this past Sunday and laid a smackdown. Final score 85-0.
Yeah.
And we got confirmation from the commissioner of the National Arena League. This is a league game for Columbus. It counts for their record.
But it's a non-division game.
But it's a non-division game.
Right.
So, yeah. So, a help on that. Anything that stood out of that game besides the lopsided score?
I mean, Marcus Brooks did what Marcus Brooks does. It's hard to look at that and see anything that really stands out other than the fact that Peach State was completely outmatched. I mean, any guy that they had last year that was any good was probably picked up by another team. So, at that point, it's just one of those things where kind of expected a big score, but I don't know if we expected that. You know what I mean? So,
well, you kind of expect a one-sided affair, and of course, do I need to say it?
What? The only game that we're going to already talk about Omaha's game that counted this weekend, so that's good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about what happened 2 weeks ago.
What? There was something that happened 2 weeks ago?
Are you looking for it?
No.
It did happen.
No,
it did happen. So don't ignore it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So,
but again, Columbus with a 85-0 victory over the Peach State Cats. But let's get into some conference National Arena League topics. We're down in. I say the upset of the week.
absolutely.
You see all the people who covered this game and this game overall, how they pick. Sioux City was the super favorite to win this game.
Odds-on favorite. It wasn't.
Odds-on favorite.
Yeah.
Super fan.
Yep.
Everything. Everyone picked them.
And I think other than the Columbus game, which didn't see a lot of people picking Columbus game, but even in this game, this was the only game that I saw that was unanimously picked.
Yeah.
For people. So.
And Sarge is coaching us from the distance.
Yep.
So
for sure. So yeah, let's get
we
into
rehired you. You're back. You're hired.
Yeah.
That's what you get when you do NAL game day at the place that you work. So
I mean, we told them that you wear many hats, Jeff. So yeah, let's get into it. Should we talk about a few stats from Sioux City and Beaumont?
What stood out to you about that game besides the upset?
Yeah, what stood out to me particularly from that game was, Verlon Reed had a pretty good game, but he just didn't look like Verlon Reed from last year, in my opinion. I don't know if it was the travel, if it was the nature of things down there, but it just didn't seem like the same Verlon Reed as it was last year. So, Jeff, what about you? What'd you think?
I agree. I think he looked human. He didn't look as dynamic as he normally does.
He looks human.
He looks human because he was Sioux City Superman last year. Let me put it that way. And he looked human this first game against Beaumont. And we'll see what he does the rest of the season with being out there and being in the offense and things like that. But I hate to say it, but I think the Bandits underestimated Beaumont, to be honest.
Yeah. You can honestly see, like, you thought if you were watching the game when the Bandits took that early 8-point advantage, 6-point advantage, I forgot the score. You saw in Sioux City that the mentality kicked in, like, oh, this is in the bag. That Beaumont's going to fold because they're expansion fan. English expansion franchise. There we go.
Well, and then
I got it out of my head.
I thought too, like, Sioux City had the ball going down the field towards the end of the game, and I was like, oh, typical Sioux City comeback.
Yeah, and interception.
And then Verlon Reed, he looked off the safety but didn't see the corner and threw an interception. So I mean, anything can happen, and it's a crazy start to the season.
So I mean, you look at the score, right? We go into halftime and it's 32-21, And
Yeah.
we're like, okay, Sioux City's going to end up, rolling these guys. Are rolling this game, right? And then you look at the box score. Sioux City was held scoreless for the entire third quarter. They didn't score a single point in the third quarter, right? And then Beaumont outscored them 21-0 in the third quarter, and that was the difference in the game. It was.
No. What stood out to me is Griggs.
Absolutely.
He is the heartbeat of Beaumont's defense.
Somebody picked him for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes, I know it was you. Like, I was kind of, even though when I asked the question to Stephen Newbold Jr. yesterday on Inside the Walls Takeover Through the Wire, I was like, who picked him as Offensive Player of the Year or MVP? And I said, raise your hands. Both you guys raised your hand. I raised my hand. I was like, I feel bad now. I didn't raise my hand.
Yeah.
By the way, he's going to be here tonight for the Colorado Spartans, so he's going to be explosive.
I think one of the things, too, that stood out to me yesterday was Sioux City, or I'm sorry, Saturday with Sioux City. And I'd love to hear you guys' opinion on this, but it looked to me like their DBs were a step slower than the wide receivers, right? I mean, Vincent Wilkerson for Beaumont had 3 catches for 77 yards and 2 touchdowns. Zuri Davis had 4 catches for 46 yards and a touchdown. But there were a lot of times, and I was messaging with some friends of mine from Sioux City, some guys that work with our network, and they were talking about how they just felt personally like their DBs weren't quite as fast as they needed to be to keep up with those receivers in Beaumont.
I agree. Yeah. And unfortunately for Beaumont, they got the game, they win, and it just slows down. They got 3 or 4 weeks off now.
Yeah.
I wonder if they do schedule a non-league game in that time to at least try to stay, consistent.
Or at least a scrimmage.
Because you have 3 or 4 weeks off. That just kills the momentum.
I mean, Carl Robertson looked really good. He had 16 completions, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, did have 1 pick, but I mean, I had never heard of him before the game.
That's one thing I love about the NAL. You look at some of these guys like, I haven't heard of any of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end of week 2, they're household names if you're an NAL fan.
Right.
And Beaumont's going to have some of those dudes.
Yeah.
What they did was almost like, I want to say it wasn't like a massive upset. Beaumont did what Arizona State did in college football this past year.
I agree with that. Yeah.
They did nothing flashy.
They just hung around.
They hung around, and they made the plays in the second half to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you win games.
Yeah.
Especially games that you're not favored. And I do have to admit, I didn't think Beaumont was going to beat Sioux City.
Mm-mm.
And if any of the podcasters or people who think they cover the sports say otherwise, you're lying.
Yeah.
Okay? You're lying. You didn't pick Beaumont to win.
Mm-mm.
So don't go on Beaumont's Facebook page and be friends because they're the hot thing now. Be a man and he's like, yeah, I did pick Sioux City because I see all the picks you guys did. But Oni.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jonah. Yeah.
Jonah. I see Jonah in there.
Speaking of us, Sioux City.
Speaking of Sioux City.
Yeah.
Banned Booth review on Inside the Walls Network, Jonah.
That's right.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so.
Yeah, that get Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Next week?
No, Omaha is Colorado. Next week.
Yeah.
Oh.
I seen a graphic somewhere. I just didn't know which one it was.
Yeah. They've put out.
Omaha, Sioux City, same thing.
There's been it's quite a bit different, honestly, but I digress. One thing I did want to touch base on, though, is Fred Bruno did Fred Bruno things.
Yes.
Right? I mean, 3 receptions for 57 yards and a touchdown. He also had 5 carries for 34 yards and another touchdown. So you could see on the ground there, he had, about almost 90 yards or a little over 90 yards there. And so he did what he always does. That guy doesn't seem to lose a step ever.
Oh, ageless wonder.
It's crazy.
Ageless wonder.
But should we move on?
Should we move on to the other game? This game is no importance at all for Matt. None at all.
Nope, not at all.
Nothing at all.
In fact, I didn't even watch it. No, I'm just kidding. I actually watched
You
it.
didn't watch it?
No, I watched the whole thing.
Never mind.
There was a couple times where Jim had to actually tell me to calm down a little bit, to be honest with you.
Coach Rez told you to calm down.
That's true. Yeah, Coach Rez did tell me to calm down a little bit.
Hargrove told you to calm down.
Hargrove did tell me to calm down. Yeah,
CJ told you, hey, big man, slow, calm down.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
All the willing players were telling you to calm down.
Besides the pumpkin comments.
Yeah, the pumpkin uniforms.
Pumpkin.
Well, you expect that from CJ.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to CJ Kane. Great dude.
Yeah.
Spent about 45 minutes with us last night on our pop-up show. So that was
He spent
that's
about
great.
like 2 hours with us for a couple of
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Local
Sure.
celebrity.
local celebrity. Yeah. Chris has showed in.
Chris. Yep. Chris. All
Why
right.
were you on the show on Friday night, sir?
Yeah. Excuses.
Okay. Hey.
You know what my dad used to say about excuses. Just kidding.
But what?
Let's talk about it.
Well, let's talk about it
Yeah.
after this because you need something from Jeff. Are you good, Coach Rez? Well,
All right.
the score's there, 41-18.
Yeah.
Beef beat Rubru.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about it, right? Breaking things down. If we're being brutally honest, and we're
firing Jeff again.
Yep. See you, Jeff. Bye. But if we're being honest as analysts and as guys that watch this game, and we're non-biased, right? Lorenzo Brown didn't look like the Lorenzo Brown I remember watching. He just didn't. You know what I mean?
Because we had a debate on this. What was it? Last week's episode.
Yeah.
We were saying Lorenzo Brown is considered one of the greater quarterbacks in the indoor style roles.
Yeah.
He still has that moment because honestly, you can literally say, all right, is anybody going to tell Tom Brady to hang it up, or are you going to just let Tom Brady make his own decision?
Right. Right. Absolutely.
I think Lorenzo Brown has that, he has that history in the game where he needs to make that decision. But Omaha's offense did not move the ball well with him in it. And once they brought in the new guy, the offense started to kick in. But I look at it this way: Shreveport has a lot of issues, and Omaha didn't play a good game. If Omaha played like that against Beaumont would have won. Maybe even Sioux City, because Sioux City and Beaumont's game was more competitive. But if Omaha, it felt like the carryover from the preseason game was still in there. But they found a way to finish. The defense made some plays. You got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah. 3 interceptions.
Yep. Some of them were, how can you say, easy picks.
A few of them, yeah.
Shreveport made a lot of mistakes that made Omaha capitalize. But Matt, honestly, it's not the same Omaha team from last year.
Yeah, I mean, again, being non-biased and looking at it with, from the perspective of someone who covers this game for this league, I mean, it's one of those things where we've really got to figure out like what is our identity? It seems like right now they're trying to figure out their identity on offense, right? What I did notice was, and again, I'm not a coach, so obviously love Coach Tatum, great guy, whatever, but for me, it is like looking at that, and when I'm getting text messages from my wife who knows football but doesn't like know football, and she's like, why is he throwing the ball at the turf every play? And I'm like, I don't know, honey. Like, I'm wondering the same thing, And again, it's no criticism. Like, I love Zoe. I've talked to Zoe. Zoe knows. These guys know I'm going to be critical of them as a fan, and that's just who I am, and that's what I'm doing right now. Is I'm looking at it from this perspective of I am a fan of the Omaha Beef, but I'm being honest. Like what I saw on Saturday, it was a little troubling, right? And you're right. A better team, that outcome would have probably been different.
And you gave me a question the other day. It's like, give me your honest, observation of the Omaha Beef. And I literally told you that I see a lot of the 2024 Jacksonville Sharks in this team. They have the talent, they have the skilled players, but the problem is it just feels like they're just there. And there could be 1 or 2 players that maybe add that makes them get over the hump, like in Jacksonville last year. They got Caleb Barker and a few other additions, and the team completely different the last 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
That's what, and I look at this game, it's like, let's see this week and how they improved. The defense is there.
Right.
The offense needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
And they have the guys. It's just, it needs a click. And
right.
It's a long season. I mean, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I want to hear your thoughts on that.
I think it's gonna be a long season, and I mean, it's not. They have time, and I think Tatum has this coaching staff and the abilities to do Omaha things, and I think they'll be in the mix towards the end. I just think it's one of those things where I don't think people know how to react. Like they've been on top for so long and so dominant. and now it's like, what's happening? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of, I feel like it's the Kansas City Chiefs how they were this year. Like everybody's like, oh, the Chiefs aren't that great, and they still ended up making the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where they're going to hang around, they're going to be in some games, and the beauty of arena football is if you don't like it, you can fix it and flip everything completely around. I mean, nothing's guaranteed.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And again, this is no slight to Coach Tatum or anything like that. So I want to be clear. Like, obviously, I'm the one who is the closest to this situation, and I'm the one who could get, good, will be directly involved in that next weekend. But we're going to see Colorado here in a couple of hours. Mm-hmm. And from what I've heard through the grapevine, they've got some dogs. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen Stephen Newbold. We know they got Aaron Aiken, who is a great quarterback. Right. And we know Coach Shaw is going to have a defense that's going to be flying around the football. Right.
Keep an eye on the offensive and defensive lines.
Yeah.
The battle in the trenches all night long. It's going to be physical.
Yeah.
It's going to be hands-on. Mm-hmm. Like that's going to be the outcome of the game, to be honest. It's not going to be, it's going to be a quarterback duel, yes, but it's not going to be anything of that nature. It's going to be battle of the trenches. Whoever wins the trenches is going to win the game.
And I know we're going to get into this later, but I mean, could we see potentially a lower scoring arena game than what we're used to?
I don't
probably, but not with coach, not with a Coach Loyola team.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
Let's wait. Let's wait on that.
Okay,
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Not so. We can't do that, right?
No.
That'd be copyright.
A little bit slower, my friend. We can say that.
But yeah, for the people who are asking in the chat, where would this game be streamed on? It'd be streamed on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And if Twitter does work, possibly on NAL Twitter account, but Twitter has been acting up. Apparently, they're having some system-wide outages there. When we come back after this break, we'll start talking about the Colorado Spartans and previewing the keys of the game. And then we'll try to get either one of the coaches on or possibly a player. The players are actually reporting right now into their respective locker rooms. So sit back and relax. We'll be back right after this.
Tony Thompson, I'm the owner of the Colorado Spartans. So the guys, the number one thing that I'm looking for is professionalism. There's a lot of good athletes in the world, but you got to be professional. They're kind of a reflection of me in the public, especially with Denver. I want to make sure we make a good first impression. And then number two, I want to see the confidence. Some guys get a little nervous when the lights are on. So I need professionalism. I need confidence. I need you guys to show us why you're here. And so that's what I look for. Me and Coach will break down the technical side of it. I was watching footwork, watching hips. That's stuff that we look for today. I really think Denver's got a lot of talent. That's the thing. And so we're gonna have one more tryout that we're gonna push a little bit more to try to find a couple more guys. But I saw some guys that I liked today. I really did. There's some guys that I think will sign. We'll get them a camp invite and see how they compete against some pros.
1, 2, 3, hey! Touchdown!
Tony Thompson. I'm the owner of the Colorado Spartans. Tell the guys the number one thing that I'm looking for is professionalism. There's a lot of good athletes in the world, but you got to be professional. They're kind of a reflection of me in the public, especially with Denver. I want to make sure we make a good first impression. And then number two, I want to see the confidence. Some guys get a little nervous when the lights are on, so I need professionalism, I need confidence. I need you guys to show us why you're here. And so that's what I look for. Me and Coach will break down the technical side of it. I was watching footwork, watching hips. That's stuff that we look for today. I really think Denver's got a lot of talent. That's the thing. And so we're gonna have one more tryout that we're gonna push a little bit more to try to find a couple more guys. But I saw some guys that I liked today. I really did. There's some guys that I think will sign. We'll get them a camp invite and see how they compete against some pros.
1, 2, 3, family!
Ladies and gentlemen, to NAL GameDay. Sorry for the extended break. Coaches, players are reporting, so we're trying to get Coach Saul. As he gets here, we'll jump in on that. I'm looking right now across the way. I'm looking at some Steeler legends.
Yeah, a lot of buzz in the air for that.
So
tonight.
I see some Steeler legends in the house. I'm also not a Steelers fan, but I know who a legends is when I see one. And he is what? Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, that sounds good. All right. So we can.
It's all right. We can just talk. Could we talk about keys to the game for Colorado instead?
Yeah, we can do that. Keys to the game of Colorado. Let's do that. Sorry about the inconvenience. Apparently, players, we're hiring Jeff back on. Again, players get here, players report, they get here, and sometimes what we got?
Yeah. They are having some issues. So Coach Shaw said, unfortunately, he's taking over double duty right now. So he's taping players, doing some other things. So he's rather busy right now. So
I mean, we get that. We understand that.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's cool.
for sure.
That's good.
For
We're
sure.
good.
So let's
Great.
talk about some players to watch for Colorado. What do you guys think?
Oh, go ahead.
All
I know
right.
you got some guys you want to mention because we talked to Stephen Newbold yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, guys to watch from the Colorado Spartans. Obviously, one of them is Stephen Newbold.
Yeah.
Last year's National Arena League Rookie of the Year. Great receiver. Excellent guy with the ball in his hands. Can do it all. He can run with the ball. He can catch a. I'm pretty sure he could probably throw it if they wanted him to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't want him to throw.
But they don't want him to. No.
If he's throwing the football, we have some other issues.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff, you got anybody you want to talk about from Colorado that you think we should watch out for?
Greg Dent.
Dang, you had to go to Greg Dent.
Yes, because I've been watching Greg Dent for a while. Not only obviously at Florida State, but his time in Duke City with Nate Davis. The ball that you guys seen, the other day did have Greg Dent's signature on it. But yeah, somebody that can run the routes, just a vet, can really help out a receiving core, is Greg Dent. He's still got a little bit speed. He's never been really known for tremendous speed, but his way to break off routes and things is bar none. So he's going to be trying to do a lot of things to these defensive backs here tonight to, try to throw them off their game and get open and get to a spot.
Why you had to take Greg Dent?
Sorry.
That's it. We're done.
Okay.
That's it. You're fired again for the fourth time in the episode.
All right, I'll go back up. So can I make a suggestion? Next time we do game day, can we not do it at a team I work for? 'Cause
I mean, maybe.
Because
I know two locations.
I'm out of breath, man.
Is there like an easy button where you can just press the button and then you just
No. We laughed and joked about on Through the Wire about new season, new title. Man,
new season, new title. Yeah. You don't understand how much he does, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, this guy, seriously. We joked yesterday because
Of a graphic.
we do. But we joked yesterday about Jeff. We needed Jeff to do something.
Yeah.
And Coach Rez was like, "No, I'm not reaching out to Jeff. He's having wife time." And then he reached out to Jeff for something. And then one of us reached out to Jeff for something, and I think he sent it to us in 5 minutes. We're like, "Bro, you were with your wife. What are you doing?" So
Yeah, he does have a point there.
he does, for sure.
The clash of the logos.
oh yeah.
He has wife time. We can, we can discuss many things and talents about Jeff and Coach Rez and the team here at Willing. First off, let's say thank you to the Willing organization.
Yeah.
Chris Duffy, Coach Rez, everyone here that has accepted me and Matt as a temporary employees almost, because we've been, doing a lot of stuff, hanging out with the players. It's been awesome. Shout out to them. Of course, we got the game tonight, 7:00. Toe hits leather here in WesBanco Arena. If you're outside, we got some Steeler legends lining up about to sign some autographs here right in front of us. 7:00. Gates open at 6. If you have purchased your autographs for the signing, those doors open up at 5. Am I correct?
Yes.
I believe so. Yeah. A few of the guys are here. It looks like they're getting their jerseys, getting them put on. So that's pretty cool.
So at 5:00, we will have Coach Rez on. And apparently, from what he's told us, some quarterback that like to go on vacations in Hawaii for playoff games.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Or knowing Rez, him and many talents, he might just show up by himself.
It's hard to say. It's a mixed bag of what we're gonna get.
Or we can get Chris Duffy on.
Well, so I wasn't aware. This is pretty cool because we can see this right here.
Yeah.
The people that signed up for this are they getting signed jerseys?
Look, no, I don't think. I think those. No, wow.
There's multiple jerseys.
There's multiple
in front of
jerseys,
each of the
wow.
players.
If that's the case, that's awesome.
Nah, that's pretty dope.
That's a
That's
pretty dope.
that's a
That's a really good price. If so,
I don't care what
It's
if
a
you're.
bad butt promo. That's bad butt.
I don't care if you're a fan of the Steelers or anybody. That's pretty dope.
There's owner Chris down there. Chatting.
That's Chris doing Chris things.
Yeah.
Don't get in a Chris way because he'll do Chris things and you end up being on. I think from what I've heard, he's going to be my flying buddy tomorrow, going back to Jacksonville.
oh, there you go.
So, problem is he leaves me in Atlanta for 2 hours and he gets a direct. So I see how it is, Chris.
Yeah.
But appreciate getting up here. You picked Greg Dent
Yes.
because of Florida State. You knew how I guys take this from Jim, so he doesn't say
No,
it.
like I said, I've watched him in the IFL in as many different places that he's been, and that's why.
Well, then
And he's a Florida State alum.
I told you. I knew he was going to say because of Florida State. I'm not going to say the obvious, Steve Newbold, but we did have Sam Hammond on last night.
Yeah.
Heck of an interview, man! I did not expect that.
You look at this big old SOB. You're like,
Yeah.
this guy is going to have a deep voice, and he talks to like, man, he can actually host a podcast.
Articulate
And
inside the Spartans helmet.
inside Spartan cell. Hey, don't steal that. CJ will come after you.
Yeah, I know,
It's like
I'm just
we're stealing his
I just
idea.
ran into CJ before we get up here. Boy, does he look ready!
I don't want to interview him.
I feel like that would be scary.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a big,
That's a 340-pound man.
But also, Sam, for the Colorado Spartans fans and the people who are watching this, I think he's going to be a key contributor for that defensive side of the ball.
Absolutely.
Usually, some of the most humble and quietest dudes on defensive line are some of the most guys you don't want to mess with.
Definitely.
Period.
Most impactful, period. They are. That's how Jayshon Washington is in Omaha. He's a very quiet guy, but but Hammond, I'm pretty sure he played last year with the Spartans and was very impressive.
yeah,
Good point.
and had a stint in the IFL as well. So
Yeah.
But I want to see how Aaron Aiken plays
yes,
because he's been at Gillette.
Yep.
He's been in San Diego. He's been in Jacksonville. He's been in Carolina. He played with Coach Rez in Carolina for a few seasons.
most recently Quad City.
Quad City.
Yeah.
Let's see how he performs because when he plays and when he's healthy, he's one of the top tier quarterbacks in the entire sport.
Yeah.
I'm not to the fans out there. Well, Jim said he's the GOAT. He's not the GOAT. I say he's one of the top tier quarterbacks.
Well, he's somebody that you got to respect his running ability too, because he's a lot like.
And he's built like Cam Newton.
I was gonna say he's a lot like Grant. Like he's very, very physical when he runs. He's not gonna finesse you. He's gonna run you over.
Yeah,
that's the way it's gonna go.
He's that quarterback. You go, I can't wait to run halfback dive, and I'm not even handing it off to the running back.
Yeah, he's pulling and going for sure.
But I look at Colorado. The keys of the game: survive the first quarter, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on the road. You want to answer blow by blow. If not, take an early lead and make Willing play from behind. Don't self-inflicted wounds, but a lot of the road teams that we've seen historically in the NAL, once they get behind late, especially last year, especially like Tennessee against Omaha, against Sioux City, when teams got behind, it was done. Game was over.
Mhm.
Can they survive? Can they survive their early onslaught of Willing, or can they stay ahead and let Willing play from behind? We'll find that out. I think that would be a key contributor. And the guy who I think is the catalyst for this is Aiken. If they can consistently get first downs, stay on the field, and move the ball down the field and score and capitalize on either extra points or 2-point conversions, they have to not have an empty possession because I've seen practice film from Willing. I have heard all the coaches. It sounds like we're going to play like a Big 12 type of game. Willing's going to play a Big 12 type of game here tonight.
Yeah,
And if you watch the Big 12, ladies and gentlemen, it's high flying, high scoring, up and down.
Minimal defense. Somebody gets a stop late and wins the game.
A lot of the time people talk about the Big 12 football being indoor football.
Yeah.
Outside.
Correct.
I think one of the big keys, obviously, and this could obviously go either way. We'll talk about Wheeling later, right? But I think one of the big keys is handling the noise. We've heard a lot about how loud it can get here in Wheeling, right? And that's one of the things I'm excited to see with my first experience being here in Wheeling is just how loud it gets, right? But also like how do you handle that as an offense? And how does Aiken come out and handle adversity when it happens, right? How does he handle that adversity when it happens?
Remember, this is also his first time starting in like 2 years.
Absolutely.
So
right.
He's been back up for 2 years.
Right. And so so the first time they have adversity, how does he handle that? How does the team handle that? Right. We don't know much about their offensive line. So, how does their offensive line handle the noise and the snap count and all that kind of stuff? Because that's a key thing in indoor football.
Yeah.
You mess up a snap in indoor football, that can make the difference between, a touchdown.
Correct. Jeff, do me a favor. Text homeboy.
Okay, I can run down and get him.
No, don't run. You'll be out of auction.
All right.
So when we come back after this,
Coach Rez time.
Coach Rez time. If you watch Through the Wire, ladies and gentlemen, we're on Coach Rez time right
Give
now.
me about 5 minutes ish. No,
5 minutes.
Ish time.
If not, I would literally walk down here, grab Chris Duffy, and put him up in front.
Oh,
of the camera.
absolutely. That's what we did last time.
Yeah,
For
probably
sure.
get a chair, hit him out, knock him out, and we'll get him up here. We'll get someone from Willing Organization up next. Player, coach, owner. Crap, we might even actually interview Matt here after this. So hopefully you enjoy it. And
right.
to Connor, there will be a headgear type of selection at the end of this show of who we have to pick on this episode. So when we come back after these short words, let's see how fast. Can you do in 25 seconds?
Oh, no.
Okay, so we'll go to the extended break here. We'll be back right after this.
Tony Thompson, I'm the owner of the Colorado Spartans. So the guys, the number one thing that I'm looking for is professionalism. There's a lot of good athletes in the world, but you got to be professional. They're kind of a reflection of me in the public, especially with Denver. I want to make sure we make a good first impression. And then number two, I want to see the confidence. Some guys get a little nervous when the lights are on. So I need professionalism, I need confidence. I need you guys to show us why you're here. And so that's what I look for. Me and Coach will break down the technical side of it. I was watching footwork, watching hips. That's stuff that we look for today. I really think Denver's got a lot of talent. That's the thing. And so we're gonna have one more tryout that we're gonna push a little bit more to try to find a couple more guys. But I saw some guys that I liked today. I really did. There's some guys that I think will sign. We'll get them a camp invite and see how they compete against some pros.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to through. Well, I almost said through the wire. That's not through the. It says NAL Game Day.
NAL Game Day,
yeah. Well, again, sometimes when you do shows, crap happens.
Yeah.
Including the commissioner of the NAL that just randomly shows up.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. Just randomly shows up.
Or he's on his telephone.
Right. Doing business, I'm sure.
I guarantee you, honestly, like everywhere he goes, he's like,
I mean, if it's like Rez, I mean, he's probably
yeah, that's definitely like Rez, yeah.
So, yeah.
And of course, if you people know how social media works, follow all NAL content at nationalarenaleague.com, at NAL football on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. What else are they on? YouTube.
Yeah.
Right Now TV as
Right
well.
Now TV,
Right
yeah.
Now TV.
We having a game put up there here later on this week, I believe.
I think that's the schedule, yes.
Yeah.
So it'll be more digitally remastered and hopefully something that you can enjoy. It's on over, 94 markets in the United States?
Yeah.
You can follow it easily at rightnowtv.com. Go follow them, rightnowtv.com. I just know there's more to come with the deals with that. So stick around.
Yeah.
If people want to ask how is the next generation of the National Arena League is going to be evolved with Right Now TV, more up to date, and some announcements coming in the near future. Let's just say there is an announcement going to happen today on the show.
Yeah.
About that.
Pretty excited about that
yes.
one, actually.
And we'll have the commissioner say that.
Yeah.
Not me. I won't say it.
Nope.
The commissioner will do it.
Yeah. It'll be directly from the source itself.
Yeah, correctly from the source. Of course, we've had multiple questions on here. How are the standings in the National Arena League done? Yes, there's been multiple questions from multiple people on all the Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of that about how is the standings. Is it still two divisions? Yes, there's still a national division and American division. Top two teams in each division make the playoffs, and they play the championship game. The higher seed, the team with the best home record, host the National Arena League championship game. But as of right now, as the standings are going as of right now, I have no idea what was that?
I don't know.
Well, I just gave someone some free publicity. I don't know who it was, but my bad.
No worries.
Sometimes I'm a rookie. We can all make mistakes there, Matt.
Okay. No, it's all good.
Again, first place right now in the American division is the it's the Beaumont Renegades at 1-0.
Yeah.
Columbus is currently second at 1-0, but it's a non-league, non-division game, so they're still 1-0. And also, because you got two teams 0-0, Willie Miners, and the Willie Miners and the Carolina Cobras. 0-1 is the Shreveport River in the American division. The national division, the number one team in the national division right now is the Omaha Beef at 1-0.
Yep.
And you have Colorado and Idaho at 0-0, and then you have Sioux City at 0-1. A lot of football to be played.
Definitely.
A lot of football to be played.
Definitely.
So with that, early. I know we've saw comments in here. What are the positive things you've seen so far in the National Arena League? And not really compare, but what are some positives and what are some negatives that you think the NAL can improve on, or what they do good on, or what can they, really, I like this, but they need to, times it by 10.
Yeah. No, I mean, so we saw this weekend, 2 streams. We saw streams at least, right? We had videos we had streams on our screen. We were able to watch the games. They had commentary, right, for the games. And we were able to see that content, watch it from Wheeling here in Wheeling, right? So I'm excited about that. Could some of the production values be better? Absolutely. But it's early, right? And a couple of these teams are expansion teams, right? And that's kind of what we expected from expansion teams. And it's one of those things where it could be just just jitters in the beginning.
We'll be back right after this. We're going to do thank you for the synopsis. We'll be right after this. We're going to get the play-by-play announcer of the Wheeling Miners, Chris. He's right in front of us. We'll be back after this short break. After that, we'll get we'll get the commissioner of the National Arena League.
Yep.
Some things you got to change the schedule sometimes.
Right.
It happens. We're here in Wheeling. We got to be flexible.
Absolutely.
We'll be back after this.
back, guys. We finally have a guest. Man, it has been difficult to find guests, but
It's chaotic.
it is chaotic. But he actually was on the championship show that we did here as well. So
He was.
yes, he was one of our first guests. Yeah,
I think he
before
was
Grant.
he was the
Yeah.
only guest. Yeah.
So without further ado, my broadcast partner, my other partner in crime, both be calling the game tonight. Chris Thoburn.
What's up, guys? Looking forward to this.
First off, where were you Friday? For the points for the wheel.
Well, the owner of the podcast here didn't even tell me about it until I saw it on Facebook.
I'm surprised things haven't been turning off.
Yeah, it's been hectic.
It's been a day, but hey, we're rolling with the punches, right, guys?
Absolutely.
Chris, what are you most excited for tonight with the opening of the season?
Wheeling Miners football is finally back,
Mm.
and a great opponent, a very worthy opponent in Colorado, and this is going to be a great game, and what an opener for these guys, and I'm excited and ready to go. I can't say, because obviously it started this weekend, and we had some good football this weekend, but Monday night version here, and just looking forward to being back at WesBanco, and like I said, two great teams going to be out there on the field here tonight.
Well, sorry, I was distracted blocking bots on the chat. Sorry, they are coming out of the woodwork right now. First off, you do multiple things here in Wheeling. You're just not here for the minors. You do it with the Nailers, and you do high schools. You got your Tony Romo right here.
Don't forget colleges.
Colleges,
Does he
yes.
call the plays before they happen?
He did last year,
Couple times.
like right on the dime. And
'Cause
when it happens, you see his fake spread. He's like, "Oh my!"
Because I got to be honest, I sometimes can't watch CBS because of that.
That's what happens when you have a quarterback that knows every single play in the playbook.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
But then when you also have a color commentator that literally watches film and forces the opposing team to call a timeout, that happened to us in high school football.
Oh.
So, yeah, Jeff watched plenty of film, and he was like, Chris, watch this play here. So I can't even remember what the play was. And we're in the same box as the opposing coaches, which why you put the opposing broadcasters in with the opposing coaches.
So, okay, here's the other question. When are you both running for office? And
He is, not me. Hey, I tell you as the play's developing, and then he tells you who makes the stop and all that fun stuff, and then what they had for dinner, and
and,
that's all
and
Jeff.
basically find some stat that no one knows, but he found it.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I'm not going to rip that from you.
No,
I just steal your graphics for fun.
That's fine.
It's great.
So year 2 with the Miners, last year championship season, banner dropping tonight, Monday Night Football, Colorado, the whole off season, and now toe hits leather tonight. What are you looking forward to the most?
I think the biggest thing is to see what these teams have and what the offenses have. I mean, both teams have a lot of firepower out there.
Mhm.
Who's going to be able to make a stop tonight on defense is going to be the question. I think both sides are going to be up for it here. This is, like I said, it's a very, very even matchup, and I'm extremely excited for this. And great to see some of these new guys in these Miners uniforms too. Some guys that we're familiar with that we're playing with other teams now here in Wheeling, but it all starts with QB1 back there and Grant Russell and getting him back there, and just very impressive quarterback. And like I said, I'm just so glad that football's finally back here in the arena.
I'm excited to see Grant Russell play. So for the fans that are watching this that are not familiar with Grant Russell, similar to me, I'm going to be honest, guys. I told you guys I'd be transparent. What should we expect from Grant Russell on the field tonight?
No fear. He's going to lower his shoulder. If he's going to get down, he's going to run the ball. He's going to lower his shoulder. He's going to stay in the pocket and take the big hit too. But he can also escape. So what do you do when it comes to Grant Russell? Because he can escape, but he's also the guy that's going to see if the receiver's open, he's going to stay in the pocket, take the big hit, get right back up afterwards. The guy has no fear.
Well,
That's
don't
what
tell him to escape, because he did that at the end of last season and escaped to Hawaii.
I'm going to tell you
Yeah.
what. I can tell this guy's a play-by-play announcer just by the way he talks and how animated he is. And I can tell he's excited.
Just FYI, this is not the first time he has covered NAL game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, my second season in the NAL.
Yeah.
So
All right.
But
Yeah.
this one's home.
Yes.
The other one was a 6-hour drive from here,
Yeah.
Okay.
which the Miners go to next week. So
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not going to name that team.
Are you making that trip next week?
I wish I could, but I'll be here in the arena for some hockey. We have a 3-3 weekend, and looking forward to it.
Well, Chris,
All right.
appreciate you joining. We're going to have we're kind of kicking you off because
No problem.
we have a special Steeler going to join us next.
Yeah, thank
He
you
has
guys.
time covering the NAL, none other than Merrill Hodge. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to NAL Game Day here live in WesBanco Arena. We have a legend of the sport, even the arena side of things.
Yeah,
No other than Merrill Hodge. How are you doing, sir?
it's good to see you. I think you guys have a little different version or some added versions that
Yeah.
we didn't, because we launched arena football back. Gosh,
I used to
whatever
listen
it
to
is.
you all the time.
Well, whatever year it was. It was well, when we launched it, you know, they just to jump into it real quick.
Mm.
Yeah.
They wanted us to make it like a farm league for the NFL. So everything that they did, we were trying to compare it to what they do in the NFL.
Mhm.
And David Baker was the commissioner at the time.
Yeah.
And when we got done with the first year, I was like, this has nothing to do with the NFL. Like this is the hardest thing. We're doing the wrong thing. We ought to just highlight the uniqueness of the game and the things that are different. Is there some things you can to develop players, probably pass tackles, covers, receiver, cover guys, receivers, pass rushers, and quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You know, it had really helped Kurt Warner. One of the second games I ever did was the Iowa Barnstormers. In fact, I remember it was there on the 2-yard line, and Kurt took like a 1-step drop and threw the ball, and I'm so used to the NFL, I was about to go like, are you kidding me? What are you doing? And then I realized, well, if he'd have taken 2 steps, the receiver would have been in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So it was like that's the quickness of the game really trained him and helped. Because there's very few leagues you can play in. When you go to the NFL, things slow down.
Right.
And that helped him. That's what I loved about arena football. With 10 seconds left, there can be 2 scores.
Possibly
Game
3.
could shift. Yeah. Maybe with how you guys do it, but it always was. It was an exciting game. We finally started to just highlight what the game did and what was unique about it, and it was different. And it was, I don't know ever really ultimately what happened, why it fell off the map, but at one point it was
the spring league.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was like people we had packed out. I remember we did a championship game in Albany, New York. Man, it was like on ABC, and it was a absolute madhouse. So
Old school AFL,
Yeah.
Orlando, Tampa,
Yeah.
Albany, where you had 19K in the building every single night.
Arizona, Rattlers.
Rattlers are still around. Jacksonville's still around.
Yeah.
Saber Cats back in the day.
Sabergate, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're looking at 3 dudes that we worship. Not really. Arena football is our NFL.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you listen to our shows, you'll be like, I'm actually watching ESPN version for the indoor game.
Okay. That's
and
good. Yeah.
when Willie said you're going to be up, it's like it'd be pretty cool to get Merrill Hodge because you listen to him all the time on covering the AFL, and like this would be
Absolutely,
like
yeah.
an honor.
Yeah,
Appreciate
For
it.
me, it's cool because like my sister's a Steelers fan. And
She's going crazy
Oh,
with
so
it.
she was like, "You're meeting who?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I'll do what I can." So, so
Well,
I may or may not have bought a
to
terrible
hear.
towel
Yeah.
to get a.
Yeah, we'll
autograph.
get it done
So,
for you.
sure.
That's nice, you guys. It's a fun game. I know it's a quick game.
Yeah.
I understand in this league though, you got 2 people.
Yeah,
on
two
motion.
indoor
receivers
style,
in the-
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that's That's a little different. The dimensions are the same.
Yes.
It's basically
There's no
how
rebound
I got
nets.
used to the rules. It's the Canadian rules of football in an indoor arena.
Okay, so
So you
we
have
got
two men
movement
and-
to
yeah.
the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. That'll be interesting to watch.
And
There's
I've
some
never
jet
seen that
motions coming across. Receivers can take handoffs. Like you
Right.
really got to be
there's
your
very-
eyes open as a defender.
You still get the similar from the arena concepts too.
But the field dimensions are the same.
Yes.
Correct. The length.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
So that jet thing, that's got to be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because that
There's-
jet's got to be quick.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot more running in this league than there is in the arena leagues because they only have one linebacker in the center
Okay.
because you have more defensive backs because it's 2
And it's 8 on 8.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That same as the
Yep.
old
So
AFL.
now the net.
There's
No nets here.
Yeah, there's no rebound nets.
Okay.
So the net is literally there just to catch the ball after it's kicked into the goalpost. That's
Yep.
it.
Just
All right.
like
the ball
So you
goes
can't
out of the
play
back
off
of the,
it.
no.
Nope. If the ball goes out of the back of the end zone, it's a touchback. They get the ball at the 20, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah.
So everything is a basic arena concept, but just imagine the outdoor game indoors.
Okay.
No punting.
Because would be what nets in Three Rivers or in Heinz Field. That'd be weird. Like this day and age, of NFL
And
kickers, I
actually,
won't be
That'd
surprised.
be kind of a
Yeah.
cool concept, honestly.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I'm. It's been a long time since I've seen a game. You know,
Yeah.
an arena game. So I'm looking forward to it.
Do you miss it, or you just like doing what you're doing now?
Actually, I love what I'm doing now. It would be very hard. Somebody asked me if I'd like to go back, and I'm like, well, first, the only thing I would ever do if I went back into television, it's the only reason I stayed in television, was if you can watch tape
Mhm.
on the league, because that's not
It's a lot of hours doing that.
Yeah.
well, it consumes your life. I mean, we used to joke.
Yes, it
I used to
does.
joke about it like it's like, you know.
Yes, it does.
So a half-hour show, for people that aren't familiar with television, a half-hour show is 22 minutes of content. You got 3 people on there, and there's a host, 2 analysts. You probably, like Jaws and I, probably split. Say we got 8 minutes apiece.
Mhm.
Say Sal, doing my math right, say it's around 6 minutes. So give or take, there's 22 minutes in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Add a subtract a minute here and there to get it. It would take us it would literally take me 60 to 70 hours to get ready for 8 minutes of television.
I'd see that's
from
one thing.
from a tape perspective, you know,
Mhm.
because you couldn't talk about a highlight reel or something.
Yeah.
Right.
You had to verify it, and then we got to show it too. That helped fans too, because then they got to understand the terminology and visually see it.
That's why they invented radio. I
Yeah.
have a face for radio. I'm not going to do television. But,
except
You're here for the autograph signings
Yeah.
because of the Pittsburgh Steelers connection right down the street. Free agency starting in the NFL right now. Some crazy things are happening. Well, you keeping track of that or no?
Well, I've seen a couple of things that have taken place. You know, the one thing I always feel in this arena of free agency, that one should not panic. I mean, and people aren't. I think people think that teams are just making a choice right now. This has been thought out. You know, where people are making moves. Now there'll be some surprises. I think Justin Fields to the Jets might have caught some people off
Yeah,
guard.
that got me.
But
I'm heard
Um,
Rodgers to the
I've heard,
Steelers
yeah,
now.
Rodgers is the
well,
Steelers.
they say they're talking now.
They're always talking.
If they're really talking, I mean, you know, unless I think, well, I know this. I mean, leagues, GMs are talking to agents all the time about scenarios and possibilities. That means absolutely nothing but scenarios and possibilities.
Right.
So, but what I'm getting at is I don't think that just because, like, say the Steelers really don't have a quarterback, and so I'm sure people are panicked about that, but there's absolutely no reason to panic. There's still a variety of veteran options that you could do. You still have the draft.
Mhm.
Not that I'm suggesting that you wait, because I don't think this draft's very quarterback heavy draft.
Was there like two, like Shanor and was it Jackson Dart? Those are like the top 2 candidates. I don't think
you
they'll
said that. I didn't.
I watched too much film.
I'm gonna hold my opinion to myself right now.
That's fair.
But let's just put it this way: it's not a favorable quarterback draft.
Right.
We'll
Correct.
just say it that way.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years, you know, let's say in the last 5, does not include Joe Burrow in it. You know, after Joe Burrow, you know, there's been, C.J. Stroud and Jaden Daniels, and that's 3 in like 6 years.
Mhm.
You know, and that's how hard that position is.
Yeah.
To get right, in your transition from college to the NFL. Because one of the biggest mistakes is people evaluate guys in college.
Yeah.
And that's not what you should do. You should you should not be evaluating on them on where they're playing. It's where they're going to play. So what I mean is people will get excited about, well, this guy, he's exciting. Okay, well, that's not a skill set. And to make an evaluation that he's a good player because he's exciting or he makes plays running around, I don't think actually most people even realize that the NFL field is different than the college field. And that right there changes the environment.
Style.
Hash marks are narrow in the NFL. They're wide in college. That's why a lot. If you're just an average quarterback, you on one hash or the other, you can run a slant route all day. If you have a decent wide receiver and a very average defensive back in the NFL, that doesn't exist. Everybody's just as good as the other guy. So, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they end up going towards. But there'll be options by the time they walk to training camp with quarterbacks.
So I'm actually broadcasting the game tonight.
Okay. You play by play or color?
I'm color.
Okay.
I can't do play by play. I've tried it, but I'm better with color, knowing the game and everything.
Sure.
Any tips for me at all?
Well, first of all, I think there's two things when you're doing color analyst is study both opponents, which I'm sure you've done. Okay, have both opponents. That you understand both opponents like the back of your hand, and then what I have found the best thing is then let the game talk to you. Just don't try to force things. You got enough right when the game's done. You're going to probably not say way more than you do say.
Right.
You're going to I didn't say all of this because you let the game speak to you. The game's going to take on a certain role. Things are going to happen that you can't predict, and all your preparation just fill in on things that do happen. That's what I really learned, that because I tried to predict the game originally, and then I went, wait a minute, you can't predict the game. I remember how many times we have a game plan, and after 3 plays, like our game plan's changed.
Out the window.
That's broadcasting. You just let the game talk to you, and you're prepared by both teams, so you'll have an answer, and you'll be able to build on anything that happens today. So you'll be ready.
No Tony Romo.
We're familiar with that just from today, right?
Yeah.
Being able to adapt and be ready.
Yeah.
Well, Merrill, I appreciate it. I know
thank you guys.
I know they're going to drag you down there to sign it some fans, but appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
It's an honor.
Well,
I've listened to you.
Thank you. That's very nice of you. Thank you. That's very
It's
kind
pretty
of you
cool
to
to get
say.
to interview you. It's awesome.
No,
Thank
it's been great, man. Thank you for being on here.
My pleasure.
All right.
Good seeing you guys.
Yeah,
Good
good
to
luck
see you.
after
Thank you.
this.
Welcome back inside the booth, guys. I didn't run away this time, which is good. That's very good.
Inside the booth? Is that a new show?
Yeah, I guess inside the booth.
We got inside the booth. We got
That's
inside
too
the
close.
helmet.
That's too close to Bandit's booth review.
Yeah, true. All right. Well,
We'll
anyway,
get Jonah coming here and say, "What the heck you're trying to tell us show now?"
so I'd like to introduce this gentleman. Was with the team last year. came into this building and really showed out and was in a away uniform. But now back in Miners colors, Pete Savridis. Pete, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling great, other than the hamstring
Yeah.
that I tweaked. But I'll be back next week. It feels 100%. Like I feel like I go out there and play. It's a little bit like a bittersweet because it's day one and it's opening day.
Yeah.
And you're excited, but I kind of have to pull back a little bit because I can't get too excited. Because for me, my focus is me getting healthy and me getting on the field. So it's bittersweet.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about being here with the Miners this year?
Really, it's West Virginia. It's just it's the family atmosphere. It's a small city, and and the fans and the community and the relationships that I've built over the year, and I finally get a chance to be a professional player with this fan base that just it's tremendous support, and it's just great being here. I love it.
We've got some hand signals going on in the background. Sorry, Pete.
It's all right. It's all right.
What?
I think he said he's going to keep his eyes on us, and we're supposed to give him a nudge when we're ready for him.
That or he told you to steal second. I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
Me stealing second.
That or it's a squeeze bunt. One of the three. I don't know. Pete, talk about
a squeeze. That makes me run.
Right.
I'll get thrown out.
Pete. Sorry, Pete. Hey, Pete, go ahead and talk about the offensive coordinator and just kind of what not without giving anything away, what the fans should expect tonight here at WesBanco Arena.
I think you're gonna expect a high scoring game. We're gonna put points on the board. We're not gonna hold back. You're gonna expect. We're gonna attack all sides, throwing, passing, and lot of different plays because now this year in the NAL we have the two high motion. So with last year, the fans were only used to sort of two guys being on the outside and then the one slot receiver, running most of the plays. But this year we have two guys that can be in high motion, so we can do a lot more with that, and it opens up the field. And I think this year too, with the new defensive rules where you have that backer that can drop back into coverage, you're gonna get a lot of tough football. You're gonna get a lot more outside football field than the traditional arena football. So I think it's gonna be good for the fans to see more of back and forth game where last year it was just you had the slot guy run deep, score, come back, run deep, score. Now you're gonna have actually drives with we're gonna be driving down the field. And we actually have to work to score this year. So
yeah, for sure,
it's gonna be exciting for the fans.
Transition easier or harder going from arena to indoor?
It's pretty much the same, I think. For me, I'm typically the bigger receiver, so I'm more of that wall guy. So arena football, you have that wall guy that's getting the hitches and the under route. So that element is still there in the indoor football rules. So
so with you being on the sideline, the receiving core that you have, who should you have? Sorry, been distracted by someone behind you. Who do you think is going to be the wide receiver that's going to stand out? That's on your because you practice with them, training camp. Who's going to you think is going to stand out? It's like he's going to be the dude today against Carlisle.
I can't give you a guy. I think we're all I think we got 6 receivers on the roster, I believe. So all 6 of us can play. We all have a different sort of skill set, a different style of play, and I think any one of us at any time can be the guy. Just depending on what defense we face, our opponent, the way the game is going that day. I think all of us, Isaiah Robertson, AC, Langford, me, Flores, and Jarvey, all of us can play at a high level, and at any point we can take over the game. So I can't give you one player. So we're gonna see.
Okay.
But somebody's gonna step up.
Good. Yeah.
Good.
Awesome.
Well, Savridis, welcome. Where are you gonna be at? You're gonna be on the bench?
I hope I can be on the bench. I don't know. I get kind of crowded down there.
But you can chill with he's not gonna get the VIP treatment with the owners?
Yeah, I don't think so.
That wasn't my call.
That was
today. That wasn't my call. Okay?
That's a disgrace.
I've done everything else today. That's not my call.
That is a disgrace.
I'd love to be in like the box or something, but I'd rather be on the field
Yeah.
this game and be with the team and get a feel for how the team is feeling. because it's kind of arena football. You come in for 2-3 weeks of camp, and then you kind of it's quick. You don't have. It's not like college where you're with guys all year round, and then maybe you only have 4 weeks to go home for a break. Here we're gone for 6 months. We all live our kind of separate lives, and then we come together. And then we play football. So I'm interested to see tonight and the feel of the team. But I think we're gonna gel. I think it's gonna be a good night.
Well, get healthy, get back at it, and most likely we'll see you in Carolina next week.
Yes, sir.
All right. When we come back after this, ladies and gentlemen, the commissioner of the National Arena League, Brandon Eichert.
Tony Thompson. I'm the owner of the Colorado Spartans. Tell the guys the number one thing that I'm looking for is professionalism. There's a lot of good athletes in the world, but you got to be professional. They're kind of a reflection of me in the public, especially with Denver. I want to make sure we make a good first impression. And then number two, I want to see the confidence. Some guys get a little nervous when the lights are on, so I need professionalism, I need confidence. I need you guys to show us why you're here. And so that's what I look for. Me and Coach will break down the technical side of it. I was watching footwork, watching hips. That's stuff that we look for today. I really think Denver's got a lot of talent. That's the thing. And so we're gonna have one more tryout that we're gonna push a little bit more to try to find a couple more guys. But I saw some guys that I liked today. I really did. There's some guys that I think will sign. We'll get them a camp invite and see how they compete against some pros.
Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies, to the National NAL Game Day with the commissioner of National Arena League, Brandon Eichert. Why you had to do that right when we were going out of the break?
He knew.
It's perfect timing. Set it up great. Who did that?
Oh, that logo?
Not the logo. Who set the name? You set all the names up so that everybody's. Do they get to pick and choose who that is at the bottom, or they don't? See
No,
it?
that was his work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
If we had to do that with every single body, Jeff will be losing his mind.
Yeah. More than I already am.
Right.
You've already run a marathon already.
I tell you what, I've been out, working, doing this, doing that.
And you want to talk about a marathon? He's been running around the whole country.
True.
Yeah.
True that.
Hey, but it's game day. It's his game day in his area.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got to do everything to get it.
He's already put in a request, and next time we do a game day, it may not be to be here.
Yeah. So I can enjoy it.
So the next game day needs to be here.
Definitely here.
Yeah,
Is that what I'm
definitely.
hearing?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Either that or we pick someone that's so far away that he's just like, I don't know that I want to go. Man. Taking you to boys. Taking you to boys.
That's a long flight.
Yes, it is.
That's a long
Especially
flight for
from
me,
here.
and I live in Omaha.
Yeah,
So,
especially from here.
Connected with Texas.
yeah.
Ooh.
Down. Back up.
Right.
Yeah. Go to an airport. And you're like, why am I going all the way down to Miami to just cross over the country?
Let's fly to Vegas to fly to Boise.
Hey, I've had to fly to Jersey to fly to, let's say, Omaha.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It doesn't
Right.
make sense.
Right.
Math is
Right.
math.
Somebody didn't take geography, okay? Like,
The airlines, they don't.
So Brandon, you've first opening weekend of National Arena League play. Just general thoughts about how things have gone this weekend and kind of what you saw.
I mean, it's interesting. Obviously, you've got the biggest surprise to everybody. I guarantee you guys have already talked about this.
Yeah.
Is Omaha.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
mean, who saw that coming? I mean, let's
Nobody.
just be 100%
Nobody.
honest. Everybody, from what I saw, was picking Sioux City as you guys had the ranked top, right? Is that
Mhm.
what it was?
I think they were second.
what, Sioux City number 2? Yeah,
Yeah,
right
number 2.
behind-
Sioux City number
right
2 in
behind-
our power
Yeah,
rankings.
so
Yep.
Sioux City was ranked number 2. I mean, you guys, nobody saw that coming. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm watching the game going, is this really gonna happen?
Right.
Is this,
Yeah.
you know, becoming a fan at that
Mhm.
moment. You know, I pull for every team, but that's just crazy. It came down to the very end like that. Obviously, Omaha and their bounce back. I mean, let's be honest. That was hopeful for you guys out that way.
Yeah.
To have that happen, but you never know what's going to happen. Obviously, in the indoor game, and then obviously Columbus last night. I mean, it was with what had happened with Amarillo.
Yeah.
I don't know if you covered that. They had a filler, and to an extent, was an expected score. Let's not dance around that.
Yeah.
And it should have been. I mean, we want to prove that we're a dominant league. We need to take care of opponents that we should dominate. So as far as so far, I think it's been a pretty good weekend.
Mm.
As far as moving forward, I mean, there's things to improve on, obviously, everywhere, but we're growing. I mean, we started out slow and continue to grow.
Well, you talk about growing. What was it, 2 weeks you were on the job and you get Right Now TV, like right off the bat?
Yeah.
And you're done, okay? You go on vacation. You don't need to get that. But how has it been in the last, actually, now it's been a month since you've been on as a commissioner, besides being told chaos?
Yeah, no, it's still a lot of chaos. I mean, that's just. I mean, there's phone calls all the time, just making sure things are taken care of.
Yep.
You want to make sure everyone has what they need at the times they need.
I watched it take 3 in a matter of 5 minutes when we were waiting on you.
Yeah, it's,
Him and Reds are going toe to toe. How many
Yeah,
times they call?
Absolutely.
So, but I mean, it's a lot of it. I mean, and it's you take phone calls from everyone. It's not just coaches, owners. I mean, you'll have possible expansions that want to talk to you.
Mhm.
There's all kinds of individuals that want to speak, businesses, organizations that want to partner.
Mhm.
Just growing the right way with a good product. Everybody wants to start being involved.
Right.
You know, at the beginning it's slow, and the bad part is you talk 3 or 4 now. As this continues to ramp up, I really hate to see where this goes because I feel like the momentum we're building could be huge for us later on in the year. I mean,
Right.
People are going to see the product, they're going to see what's there,
Mhm.
and they're going to want to be a part of it. You may be skeptical at first, but as you grow into it, you always want to be a part of something that's special.
Also, we have something in front of us. I want the commissioner. You talk about you got Right Now TV 2 weeks into your job,
Correct.
and you've been also working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And I kind of teased it early in the show that you have an announcement to make about the National Arena League, and this is your opportunity and your chance to announce what we have.
Well, Right Now TV is not just a one-time thing. We've got Right Now TV, obviously, the good sponsor, is a corporate sponsor online.
Mhm.
And we were able to solidify the end of last week a sponsor for our championship game.
Yeah.
So the sponsor for our championship game, sorry, lean away, is Hard AF Seltzer. So here's what the ball is going to look like. Obviously, there's their logo. I don't know if we can get that on camera. I'm gonna think with the
Yep,
camera.
you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Hard AF Seltzer is a seltzer company. They're based out of Austin, Texas, and they are veteran owned and operated. So that's a good thing there. Currently, they're in 14 states. Obviously, it's not nationwide. They're growing very rapidly,
Mhm.
and 5,000 locations inside those states to get it. And actually, in most of the states, you can get it. I know you can
Okay.
get it for. So, but they also, the good thing about that is not only veteran owned, but to bring it back to people who may be like, well, who is the veteran owned? That doesn't mean anything. They're also, the guys were part of the founding group of Black Rifle Coffee. So they've got a good history of building what they're doing. And as far as product base, knowledge, they're helping as far as the marketing side with their end. They're going to push out product as far as with that. But they will be there. They will be our title sponsor,
Mhm.
obviously. And they're working on some other things behind the scenes with them to build with the league to help get more visibility to the league
Okay.
and kind of go from there. I know, not that anyone that might knows from last year, they will be at the championship game. And they're a lot of fun to be around. Very lively, very wild.
I expect what it's, seltzer.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because when you look at it, Hard AF Seltzer, you're like, okay, what is that? Well, most seltzers are, I don't know, they have one here that's like 4%, something like that. These are 8% seltzers.
Jeez.
so, I mean,
Wow.
it sticks to the name. Like,
Yeah.
it's a heavy seltzer. So, but they've got some great stuff that they do. I mean, obviously they work with other sports teams. They've got NILs with Michigan. They just signed with Penn State. They've got that coming out last year with Penn State, Oregon, Illinois. Is it Illinois or Illinois?
It's Illinois. Yeah.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Just check.
And talk to the Big Ten guy.
So,
Yeah.
But I mean, they've got some of these NIL deals already in place with colleges, things like that. They do work with teams out of other leagues with some of the things they do. So it's really an opportunity for us to just kind of grow the brand and build the Casey. Casey had fun with them last year. But yeah, it's going to be a great opportunity for everyone to see kind of us grow. And they've been a backer of what we're trying to do. Had multiple conversations about how to make it work, how to do it, and to do it right. And they had some input on some things, to help with obviously growing visibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want us to be successful just like we want them to be successful. It's a partnership. And I believe that it's going to be a great opportunity for overall once some of the other things they're doing come out.
So as a child of a veteran in the military, who's no longer with us, I just think it's really cool how much the league and the teams lean into our veteran population. So as the commissioner, why is that important to you?
I mean, you've got to lean into it a lot. I mean, let's go all the way back to the beginning. Without the military, we probably would have been taken by someone else by now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a stupid way to look at it in some people's simple mind, but they're our first line of defense in anything we do, no matter where they're at. And these are also people who are putting their lives on the line when they don't have to. They choose to sign up to do this. They choose to take that opportunity to protect their country, their freedoms, their rights. And I think that's very important that we give the opportunity to give back to them, support them in any way we can. I believe that's a very, very important thing right now.
I agree. Yeah.
Anything for Kmesh?
Yeah, absolutely. So just don't make fun of me. Anyway, so with this being the last game of the week, what do you expect out of this one? Two very, very good teams coming in.
I really don't know. I mean, everyone, there's a multiple story. Everything you guys have led on and tried to push is that it's going to be really one-sided. Yeah. It's going to be this. I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, the talent that they've got on Colorado doesn't get talked about enough. I mean, I know there's a lot of talk about the talent that is here, the talent that is in Wheeling and things like that, but Colorado has a lot of call them dudes. I mean, really.
Yes.
There's some very talented athletes over there. Some of them were in your picks for, obviously awards for the end of the year. So I think that it's going to be a lot closer than people are expecting. I don't know which way it will go, honestly. I mean, everybody would say if there was a spread, you put the spread was at +3 for a home team automatically or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
But I just don't know. I think with the athletes, and again, we talked about this, I think on one of the first podcasts we did, because you guys said, who do you think is going to be the best? A lot of the rosters are new.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. This is the first time we're going to see Wheeling in the NAL in a completely different league. So players last year that they played against are different than what they're going to face this year. So we got to think about that. Colorado, they've been here. They've done it a year. And they're well established. So I think that's going to be the big thing. I think the first quarter will tell us a lot.
What do you think about the personalities of the two coaches? You think they're going to show through?
Oh boy, I got to meet Coach Shaw. He's an exciting
as advertised.
He's a fun guy.
Coach Shaw is exciting. But I think eventually it's going to be they're two different. I'm going to go demeanors. I think same concept behind the two coaches. Both are very serious about the game, passionate about the game, and how they do it. It's just they have different demeanors and how they attack it. And it's if you see them, I mean, if you're here and you see them, they're two completely different individual demeanors. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, they are different. I had the opportunity to watch them a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Let's just say how can I rephrase this? Like, remember how I said last year with Coach Rez, he was actually teaching the referees the rule book during the season. Shaw's like that. Rez is like that. I wonder if we're going to have that when they're all bickering over, like, what's this, what's this? One thing I love about those two guys, no matter what happens, they hate each other for 60 minutes. But they're like best friends off the field, which is hysterical.
Yeah. I mean, last night I ran into Coach Shaw when his team was in there eating dinner, and he went out of his way to get up and shake my hand.
Yeah.
I mean, that tells you a lot about the coaches we have in this league, right?
Correct.
I mean, just great guys. There's Chris popping in. Chris Duffy, owner of the Wheeling Miners. He's doing a lot. No, Grant is here this time. He's not in Hawaii. You don't need to dance like that. So, yeah. So, anyways, Jeff, you got something you got to be doing here pretty soon, don't you?
Yeah, we got to wrap up. We got to go one last break, our predictions, and we're done.
Yeah.
All right.
One last break. Come back.
Any final words there?
Hey guys, everybody tune in. It's going to be a great game, and continue to watch the NAL all years. We put out great product.
All right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back for the final segment, predictions of tonight's game.
Tony Thompson, I'm the owner of the Colorado Spartans. Tell the guys the number one thing that I'm looking for is professionalism. There's a lot of good athletes in the world, but you got to be professional. They're kind of a reflection of me in the public, especially with Denver. I want to make sure we make a good first impression. And then number two, I want to see the confidence. Some guys get a little nervous when the lights are on, so I need professionalism, I need confidence. I need you guys to show us why you're here. And so that's what I look for. Me and Coach will break down the technical side of it. I was watching footwork, watching hips. That's stuff that we look for today. I really think Denver's got a lot of talent. That's the thing. And so we're gonna have one more tryout that we're gonna push a little bit more to try to find a couple more guys. But I saw some guys that I liked today. I really did. There's some guys that I think will sign. We'll get them a camp invite and see how they compete against some pros.
1, 2, 3,
You doing it now?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to NAL Game Day. Wrapping it up here in Wheeling, West Virginia, WesBanco Arena. There I go. Speak English.
English, Jim.
Colorado Spartans, Wheeling Miners. Pick'em section, and we get out of here. Let's start with Kurt Herbstreit. Jeff, what are your thoughts about this? You can't make the picks because you are covering the game.
Yeah, I'm calling the game, so I don't make a pick. But I can say this. It's going to be a very physical game. We've talked to both members of the offensive line and one member of the offensive line from the Wheeling Miners and one member of the defensive line from the Colorado Spartans. And I think that's where the battle's going to be. It's going to be physical. A lot of things are going to happen down there. I think it's going to be the pace of the game. And keep an eye on the two head coaches. And also, the D coordinators trying to best each other as well. The D coordinator from Colorado coming over from the IFL. So that's one of those things that, same kind of rule setup, but a little different. But I'm excited to see, and I think it's going to be a great game, and we have an opportunity to steal the weekend.
Are you sure have an opportunity to steal the weekend?
I think so. I think we have an opportunity to steal the show, so to speak, of the opening week of the NAL. I think this could be it has the potential to be the game of the week.
All right. Matt?
Yeah, I think everything that Jeff said. My brain wasn't working. Everything Jeff said, absolutely correct. Steve, what I'm excited to see is I'm excited to see both these offenses. We know that these offenses are going to be fast paced. We know that specifically the Miners offense is going to be fast paced. The Miners are in here with the mindset of this is our home. We are going to take our home. We're going to make sure we defend that home, and we are going to come out here and put points on the board. And they're in the mindset of losing is not an option.
Right.
But
Not so fast.
slow down, my friends. I'm going with the Colorado Spartans here in Wheeling to pick up the victory tonight for Coach Shaw and head into that contest next week against the Omaha Beef to determine who will be in first place in the national division.
Are you trying to get kicked out?
No, I'm not. Thank you to Wheeling for their hospitality, but I'm going with the Colorado Spartans.
Listen here, folks. Listen here. Oh, nope. Get bigger screen. There we go. How we doing? Listen here. You don't come into Wheeling and make that prediction. Are you serious? But I have to say this. Unfortunately, I like Aaron Aiken. I like Stephen Newbold Jr. I like Sam Hammond. I think they get it done. Yes, you heard me right. I think they get it done sometime this season.
There it is. There's the headgear pick.
I'm taking Wheeling because you don't come in to WesBanco on Coach Rez Day and get the dub. Wheeling wins. Closer than the experts predict. Got to get some Lee Corso in there.
Right.
So Wheeling wins. 2 possessions, maybe a possession. Wheeling wins. I wish I had, the Cole, but
Yeah.
I want to get copyright infringement.
It's all good.
Right, for sure.
Listen, thank you guys for coming into my home, into Wheeling, and doing the show. This has been a blast.
Absolutely.
I'm ready for the game. I know everybody else is. Tune in to the NAL YouTube page. The game will be on there. Chris Thoburn and myself will cover it, give you all the action, and do our best to do the game justice as you see it.
Yep. With the crew here in WesBanco Arena, to the people who are out there in the line getting an arena, be well, be safe. We might do an episode later this week to preview upcoming week's game, but until then, my friends, have a blessed day. Be safe. And who cares if the internet and things change? We still rocked out a 2-hour episode.
We did.
This is NAL Game Day, and I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, there are more coming to 2025. Where will we go next? We'll see you next time on Inside the Walls podcast. That's Matt. That's Jeff. I am Jim. Enjoy Spartans and Miners Monday Night Football here in the National Arena.